Okay, this is recognizable. Okay, and then you come over here on this side and you see that they're all busted up and they're not in perfect line like this. And rings aren't always in perfect line like this, but you see when they get busted up what they look like. Okay, and I'll show you from a side view. All that is right here that's all busted up, and all these pieces you see here are all ones used to look like that with the rings of the tree. Okay, is it making sense now? And they always split like that. Okay, vertically and horizontally. But I don't mean to repeat myself, but you see this here is recognizable and this here is not. Okay, the rings are busted, and you'll see this in different many examples. Things that aren't recognizable. But when you see things like this, you know what it is when you see all this, just all this trash and broken up rock. Okay, there'll always be something that's recognizable. So this is just the start of a series of videos I'm going to take today. Whew. Showing you that we're in Colorado Springs, Colorado. That the Garden of the Gods, the Manitou Cliff Dwellings, and all the things like that that are in this town are all the remains of giant trees. Okay, and I'm going to show you here. These are just rings of the tree. These are just remnants that are left over. I'm going to pause it while I walk up there. Okay, hold on. Okay, so remember, many things have fallen away, weathered, smooth, rounded. These trees were so giant. Okay? And you can compare this to similar type rock formations all across this earth. Okay? These are just rings, and you see here they just fall away. Okay, I'm going to walk around this road here and see what we can see. Hold on. I actually walked up here on this so you can see how massive these are. See right there, this ring right here is missing. It's just so much has fallen away. It's incredible. So we're gonna walk up around here, see where that takes us. So hold on. Okay, I'm still trying to catch my breath. That was a pretty steep climb up here. So this is pretty amazing, okay? By now you should understand how large these trees were. Okay, I'm going to show you some pretty incredible stuff here. Okay, these are all just rings that are busted up. And once again, right here, I'll put in an example of two pieces of petrified wood side by side. The one on the left is not broken up and recognizable. The one on the right is busted up and it's not recognizable. And when you see this stuff busted up like this, you'll understand what I'm showing you. Okay, so I'll put it in right here and then get back to the video. Like this, and rings aren't always in perfect line like this, but you see when they get busted up what they look like. Okay, and I'll show you from a side view. All that is right here that's all busted up, and all these pieces you see here are all ones used to look like that. Okay, so now we're up on top of these rings and you see them all in here. Okay, and what's amazing, everything under this ground out here is the same thing, and this thing travels all the way down, all the way over to where this cross is. Okay, and then you go further off in the distance here. Hold on, let me get my bearings here. You go further off in the distance and you see more of it. It's just like a broken off stump. Okay, and then you come over here. This is the Garden of the Gods. We're going to go over in this area. All that area right there is just part of trees that snapped off and broken. That is over at the Garden of the Gods in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And you see stuff like this all around the world. And all it is just parts of shards of the tree that's still remaining. It's like a big broken off tree stump, and that's just a small tiny piece of it. Like you see this section right here, that was not one tree. It's just a tiny section of it, kind of like up at the monument in South Dakota. It's no different. Let's see right here. You know, underneath this grassland, just remember the tree, how the tree breaks up. Okay, so I'm going to end this here. This is just the first part of this coverage on these types of structures that are worldwide, like the Garden of the Gods. They're all over. They're in Boulder, Colorado. The Flatirons, they're in Red Rocks, Colorado, which is just Red Rocks, Colorado. But them are just a couple places, but you can apply that to anywhere in the world. Okay, so I'm going to pause this while I get down this steep incline here. So hold on. And you see how you have, it looks like there's different sizes here. Like this one's thicker, and then a smaller one, then one's missing, a medium one, and then a small one. You got to understand how the tree breaks down. I'll put a small section in here where there's 3 rings about 6 inches thick, and you can see that from looking at the end of them. But on the outside, for some reason, they make all kinds of different ring grooves. It looks like 3 or 4 rings, but it's actually 1. That's all that's happening here. Like this thick one right here. You'll understand when I put that short. I'll put a short section of a longer video clip in here, and you'll understand how how the rings work. It may look like there's 3 or 4 different size rings, but you look at it from a different angle, which I'm not able to do here, and you'll see that it's actually just 3 large rings and not like 12 or 13 smaller ones. Okay, see how thick them rings were. They were about 5 inches thick. Look at there, that looks just like it's wet, but it looks like it's not even petrified. See these rings here? Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Before I leave here, I want to make a mention of something here, because I see it all the time and it's kind of a deception. So here you can clearly see, like I counted, all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the different rings. You come over here, that looks like a whole bunch of different rings, like 3 right here, but it's not. They will all be the same thickness, like you see right here. There's 3 rings right here. There's 1, 2, 3. But it looks like there's 3 here, but there's not. It's just, if you look here on the edge, you'll see there's actually 3 rings there. It's just what it does on the end for some reason. Okay? There's not 3 rings there. It's 1 ring, and just on the edge of it, it splits. But I see that a lot. You just got to keep that in mind, because there could be a foot wide ring. There could be a ring that's, let me back this out a little bit. There could be a ring that's a foot thick or 18 inches thick, 1 ring, but it looks like there's several, but it's not. It's 1 ring, and you see how it does it. Okay, that's actually 3 rings, but it appears it's 3 in 1, but it's not. Okay, but this is incredible. These trees were so giant. Okay, I'm going to go back and do an overview on this. Okay, and so here's your overview, and I've already explained many times how the tree rings here, how they break off. Break off. Whether it's laying upright like that, laying flat, it just depends on whether it's a branch that's was sticking upright out of the ground at a 45, or it's part of the main tree structure still standing, which this is part of the tree structure still standing. And I'll also put a picture in here of something very similar to this, of what you're looking at, but in a modern day tree. I can only show you small examples. And then when you see part of the tree that's just colored like this, it's not the same. You got to remember, these things had different grains and colors in them depending on the tree. And I'm talking different grains, that not on the small scale. on a giant scale. And that's all it is. It's just part of the grain, part of the different colors that are in the tree. Okay, so if this stuff was laying flat, they would try to tell you it was sediment over millions or billions of years, okay? All these are just tree rings that are all busted up. Okay, I've covered this enough. We're gonna move on, so hold on.